kept seeing a car go into the water. All day they've been showing me reruns in my mind of Adventures with Purpose. VP's gonna find her in the Prosser Lake.
We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle. Again, our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10.
There are plenty of questions and very few answers after 4 students at the University of Idaho were found murdered in their off-campus house.
It's like if you look at Ted Bundy's eyes and you look at his eyes, they're the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. The one thing that I keep seeing is curls. So I don't know if he has curly hair or wavy hair, and that might be when it's grown out. I think he elongated, like his face might be a little bit longer. There's a reference to a pointier type nose. He honestly looks a lot like Ted Bundy, but like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Like not as handsome. I keep getting like a security guard or a badge. Like a Brian or something like that. It's because they are going to catch him. Because I'm seeing him in an orange jumpsuit. He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. Okay. He's probably going to go to jail for this eventually. I keep getting December.
The name Richard again.
I also get the name Rick. Damn name Allen is coming in again.
Jailed 50-year-old Richard Allen in connection with the double murder. Teen best friends Libby German and Abby Williams went hiking on a trail and never came home.
Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Quentin, but I'm seeing trash and I don't.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I do keep hearing a trash truck though. Then I keep hearing the trash truck. It's almost, that's one thing I can't get rid of is the twisting of the trash bag. And so then I'm like, well, is he in the trash? Okay. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I do hear landfill could be the...
Well, new tonight, a heartbreaking search underway in Georgia for a missing toddler. Police are sifting through trash at a landfill for the remains of 20-month-old Quentin Simon.
And I felt like he was going to be found. That was earlier in the day.
A 3-year-old boy found alive and in good health.
And I said, like, within 3 miles, but I'm not seeing him being hurt, and I'm not seeing someone coming up and getting him.
And I said, were you alone? Yes.
The main 2 things I keep getting is the wooded area and the shed.
Well, to take cover in that shed.
Late into the night to find.
I see him running to the woods. Oh, I keep getting the repeated image of him running to the woods. Okay. So maybe he decided he wanted to go play and then he kind of got lost in the woods. Be within 2 miles. I keep getting a reference to the edge of the woods. And so he's still alive because I'm not using him to get this information.
Right.
Around in the woods like I can't find my way out. I'm stuck. And I said he's in a bush.
Okay. I went across a field of grass. I came up on some woods. Sure enough, I went in the woods and about 100 feet from where I was at. I think he was in some stickers. There's a lot of stickers and all there.
Tonight in our Missing series, a case that we have heard a lot about from our viewers.
He wants to take me down the road to like a neighbor's house or something, like another farm. I also hear neighbor. He said he knows this guy. He knows him. And he's a neighbor. I don't know what the friends come in.
Suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
Hi everyone, so welcome back to the Psychic Sleuth channel. So today I'm going to try something a little different. As I said, the Audrii case, it's really kind of pulled me, and I get pulled and drawn into different cases, and it's not of my choosing. It's just how it happens. So a lot of people ask me, why are you feeling pulled? What all of that is kind of like how I felt really pulled with Quentin, how I was really connected to Quentin. It's kind of that situation. Same thing with Idaho, same thing with Delphi. It doesn't mean that it's anything popular because I get pulled into the ones that aren't popular as well. It's just the energy. It's just where spirit's taking me. So I always listen to spirit. I always follow spirit. But today we're going to try to do, I had the idea to do like a mind probe and into the mind on this guy. See if I can pull anything else out. If that doesn't work, then I'll probably edit it and we'll try to talk to Audrii again, or we'll try to call in a consultant. I do what I can to try to get the information. So it doesn't matter how I get it. The point is I'm trying to get it, and I try different things to push my abilities to try to see what works best. So that's the plan today. The goal is to find Audrii. The goal is to get information about what may have happened. That is the goal. This is not to any way jeopardize the case. This is not trying to solve the case. This is just trying to help in any way that I can. And so we have to kind of listen to what spirit gives, because a lot of times they will show directions. They will give directions. We are noticing in my readings, if we go back to Quentin's reading, I was given directions where he was dumped and where he ended up. And if you followed the direction, it took you both places. And kind of the same thing with other private cases that I've worked, where they've given me directions, things that you pass, things that are on the way. Also, I can get places where evidence may be, where surveillance may be. So we have to understand that it's not just going to be where she is, but I can, whatever is relevant that spirit wants to talk about is what I will get. I have absolutely no control on what comes through. So that's something else that we have to understand. I'll give what spirit gives, I'll give what I'm meant to give, and that's it. Everything has a timing as well. So with that being said, I just wanted to kind of reiterate that usually, like, I've been trying to stay off the map, because I noticed that if I go on a map and I look at a map, and if that comes up in my reading, it's like, did I get that because I got it, or because I was looking at the map and it's just like I remembered? Because remember that spirit communicates in the form of thoughts. So sometimes it's hard to tell what is the difference between spirit information and what's the difference of our own. So I have to make sure it's coming to me, not from me. And sometimes that's hard to do if I've already seen something. So that's why I'm like not going on maps yet. And anyways, I've not always pulled anything on a map. My gifts don't tend to work that way. It's sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'm pulled to a place on a map and I feel a certain way, and sometimes I'm not. A lot of times I can't look at an area and tell you, okay, that's it. I have to just go by what I see and what I'm given, and follow the directions. So with spirit is giving, hey, stand here and look over there, or hey, you need to pass this, or whatever that may be, they're giving directions. So that's how spirit works with me. So we have to really listen to what spirit's trying to say, but there's a reason that I get things. So I just wanted to say that. So I'm just going to explain really quick how I work. All the information just for me is down below. If you do want to join the Private Led Spirit group, which is like a platform reading group with 6 people, I have 6 more spots for the 25th of May. You can email me at thepsychicsleuth@gmail.com if you're interested in that. Okay, so information that comes in can be past, present, and future. It can be symbolic, not always literal. Not always literal in the way that I see it. Sometimes it's metaphoric. Sometimes it's symbolic. Spirit will often use my references, experiences, how I relate to things to try to explain what they're wanting to say. Also, things can have multiple meanings. So remember, this is like charades. So spirit communicates telepathically. So how do they do that? A lot of times they will say things, but they also will show me visions, symbols, things like that. I have to translate it from what spirit's saying to you guys. So it's not always easy. It's kind of like playing a game of charades, or saying, okay, well, this is how I relate to something, so this is probably what it means. I'll usually just describe what I'm saying or what I'm seeing, and try not to put my own perception on it, but sometimes I can say to give you an idea of what this may mean or could mean. And so when I'm doing the mind probe, like, it's very new to me. So I'm explaining this because I'm not really sure exactly what's going to happen tonight, as far as if I'm going into spirit or anything else, but it all works the same way. So I'll still get symbolisms and references and things like that. So as I get information, Lizzie is going to validate what she knows, and what she doesn't know, she's just going to say yes. It will keep the energy going. So if you think about it, like, it's like I'm giving her a reading. It's like I'm talking to her and she's helping the energy by talking back to me. So I'm not sitting here like just kind of often saying whatever. I can actually get a feedback, and that will help the energy kind of bounce back and forth. That's one of the best ways that I work. I work multiple ways, and I just try to feel like I try to do whatever I'm pulled to do to try to get the information that I get. And I can feel things again that are going on in the body. Now, if I'm trying to mind probe, it can be into their body, or it can be something that he's done to somebody else. So we have to think about that as well. But I do get more of a description, feelings, things like that, and I will describe that to you. Anything that I get, I will just describe it to you, and we do our best to try to put it together. Remember that the way that this works is it's puzzle pieces. So I'm not meant to solve anything. I'm not the police. I'm not there to search or anything like that. But I just hope that some of the information that I give is helpful. And again, I'm not here to intervene or anything like that. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And hopefully this is all, hopefully I have said everything I need to say, but this is all alleged. Okay. So I'm looking for the picture of the guy now. Again. All right. So what I'm going to do, I hope, I've only done mind probe twice. In Idaho 4, I did a mind probe, and recently in the Christopher Savannah, I did it on Christopher and Savannah Matthews. So it's something that I'm still learning, but it's turned out really good. So we're just gonna see. And hopefully I can get more information about the guy, about maybe what has happened, and about where Audrii is. Sometimes this works better with them than it does mediumship. You have to remember that sometimes, when it comes to mediumship, if you do it too early, sometimes if somebody is deceased, they're not completely crossed and all of that, so they're a little bit harder to communicate with. Something we have to remember. But again, my guides should step in and give me what I need to get, and we're just going to do whatever we can to try to get the information that we need to get. And I'll continue with this until I feel like I'm done. So I'll continue trying to get information. I'll continue to try to be Audrei's voice until I don't feel pulled to it anymore, until I feel like there's nothing left I can do. There's only so much I can do. Okay, I'm not here to solve it. I'm not here to find her. Everything happens in the timing it's meant to. I just hope that puzzle pieces help along the way. That's the best way that I can say that this works. Okay. I'm still just a human, and I'm just connecting to another vibration. So a lot of people say, oh, we're psychic, we should know everything. We don't. We just give you what we get and hope that it clicks. All right. So I'm going to bring on Lizzie now. We're going to see how this goes.
Hello,
right.
hello.
He's in the galaxy today.
In the galaxy. Can't disappear.
Yeah. If she disappears, it's because she leaned the wrong way. So sorry. There's a couple more things I want to say. We did work on the echo for a long time, so hopefully we fix that now. I don't really hear much of an echo, but if it does echo, sometimes it is spirit, sometimes it is, spirit does work. They sometimes interfere with technology. So keep that in mind. And if not, we've tried to fix it. We spent like 30 minutes trying to figure it out. So
yeah, we spent
also, please be kind to my sitter, and please be kind in the comments and in everyday life. This is not about anybody else but Audrii at this point. Okay. I just tried to be their voice, and that's it. I have to tell you, when I first pulled up the picture of this guy, talk about a migraine in my temple. I don't know why. It could be just the energy, but I also feel like I need to cough. So I don't know if that has something to do, again, with Audrii, or if he has issues with that as well. Like, he could be a smoker or something like that. I don't know. But it could have something, again, to do with his victims, or it's either him or his victims. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. But it's interesting, like the back of my head and the top of my neck is hurting for some reason. So, okay, this guy, I feel like, again, like he's manipulative. Like a lot of people that knew him and were close to him, they don't really know the true side of him. I feel like there's a lot of things in his past. And I do get, like, again, organized crime came in the cards, and I do kind of get that feeling, and I know that he has the tattoos and whatnot, but that came in Delphi, the whole Aryan Brotherhood thing. So I'm just wondering, because I tend to get little pieces of stuff in readings before, especially in Delphi when I was doing Autowrites, like, again, interconnects. So if you want to know what interconnects are, there's a link below for that. But I did pick up that, so I'm just wondering. And I swear I got Steven somewhere else too. I know I did. It was either Delphi or Idaho or something. But my head's hurting really bad. My chest is hurting really bad. I feel like he tried to make good, like, I'm this you're disappearing. I'm this, like, good guy, and my past is in my past. Like, I feel like that's what he tried to portray to people that he wanted to manipulate or make see him, like, as a certain person. You know what I mean? Like, this could be people that maybe he wanted to work for, people he wanted to become friends with. I don't think that really Audrey's dad really knew the true guy. Like, he's one of those people, like, he could be two people. It's almost like I get, like, a reference to, like, Gemini twins or something like that. I'm not saying that he's a Gemini unless it could be somewhere in his chart, but I keep getting, like, that kind of feeling. Like, he's night and day. He can really fool you into believing he's one person when he's really another. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on in his mind that people aren't aware of. So I get a lot of I do get paraphernalia use, I do get drug use. And I think that's where maybe a lot of his rage comes in at. But there's also, like, this, I wonder, do you know if motorcycles come in anywhere with him, or like a motorcycle gang? I don't know if he ever rode one or if he was connected to that. Because I hear, like, motorcycles. Sometimes I do get that reference to, like, motorcycle gangs and stuff as well, but it could also be that he used to ride a motorcycle, or I don't really know. I just hear them. Like, when there's a gang of motorcycles, that's what I hear.
I'm not 100% sure, but I did see a picture that was floating around of Audrey, and in the background there was a Harley Davidson blanket.
Harley.
But I think it was like a family friend, or maybe like somebody related to her. But as for him particularly, I can't confirm that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff in his past that we don't know. I mean, that's just what I hear. It's like a gang of motorcycles. There's also a reference to, like, again, like, I feel substances, but I don't know if, like I keep getting the reference to, like, coke. I hate to say that. There could be other ones, but that's the reference they gave me in her reading, and the reference I'm getting again. This could be at any point in their life, you guys, so keep that in mind. But my chest is hurting, like, really badly with him for some reason. So I don't know if this is his medical issues, because I'm a medical medium, so I do feel like people's ailments and stuff, but again, it could be something related to Audrey as well. So I feel like there's a lot of things that in his past that we don't even know about, like things he may have gotten away with that we're not even aware of. I get, like, a lot of violence. So there could be, I'm hearing the word burglary, assault. I'm getting weapons. So I feel like he's, like, in that kind of activity, and that could be in his past. But there's also a reference to almost like a sexual addiction feeling. And I do feel like he likes the younger ones. Like, he will go for it's more like, so there might be a lot of promiscuity in his past. There might be some violence in that promiscuity in his past, the ways that it comes across. You know, like, he could be like one of those guys that's really violent or really rough, or likes to choke, that kind of stuff. And then it kind of comes in, and I kind of, like, feel like I'm being choked at that time I'm saying that. And I do feel like maybe I get a reference to child stuff on the internet. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. But the child P on, the internet, I get a reference to that. So I feel like he does. And I feel like, again, he had like this infatuation with Audrii, but I also feel there's an infatuation with other girls he's seen in his life, and I feel like even when he was younger, like he would just try to take and do what he wanted, take what he wanted. That's the way it comes across. And he's really like, he thinks of himself as like an evil genius in a way, or like he feels like he can get away with things and he can manipulate and he can play games. I get like a lot of mind games. So he's very much psychopathic in the way that he because spirit, or I am seeing, you know how now I know what that reference is with Ted, and it showing me the electrodes in the brain. We're saying that that's how they always show me that they're psychopaths and they're different. Like, I'm getting a reference to that. So that's what it feels like to me. Hold on. I just know I keep coughing with him, so I'm just wondering if he doesn't have like a heart issue or something like that. Anyways, I don't know if it's him or his victims, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff, and I also get like they're taking me into prison and jail situations, and I'd be wondering if he wasn't involved in like shankings and stuff like that. Like that kind of comes in too, oddly. It might not be, like, I feel like there's a lot of things he hasn't been caught for. There's a lot of things that he doesn't have on his record. There's stuff he has on his record, but there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't. There's maybe burglaries that we don't know about. There may be assaults that we don't know about. There may be, stuff that he's tried to do to women or kids that we don't know about. But to him, I don't even want to say this. To him, a P is a P.
Okay.
That's what I just heard, and I can't say that word because I'm not trying to get in trouble. You guys, I hopefully can get what I'm getting. But I feel like he comes across as, again, genuine. Like he's manipulative. Like, you know how Ted used to charm people? He's kind of like that. Like he feels like he can charm people, whether people fall for it or not. I think some do, some don't. But it's like, I feel like I can charm and manipulate my way out of anything. I can play games. I can play stupid. Hey, they don't have anything. They don't have anything on me. It's kind of that. And I feel like, again, with that, I keep going back again to the text messages. That was all manipulation. That was all a setup. And I feel like he had a bigger plan that maybe kind of didn't work out. But it all stemmed from, I feel like, the 14th. There's a full thing of he does not like rejection, but also he's one of those types of people that feels like he should be chemically, because I feel like it's almost like a sexual addiction type feeling, or if he doesn't get his way one way, he'll take out his frustrations on another.
Okay.
Again, this is all alleged. And I also feel like, again, I don't think that Audrii saw him as that. I feel like he was in her life for a while and he pretended to be the good guy. So a lot of people would call that grooming or whatever that may be. And I feel like Audrii didn't look at him in a way that a lot of other people may have, because it's like almost like I get like this, there's innocence about her, but there's also like she's a little naive, so maybe she hasn't been taught the way that somebody should be and the way they shouldn't be, and what to watch out for. Like, it kind of comes across as that, like maybe she was like naive to the way that he was as well. And it's almost like regardless of how long he knew her, he didn't care. It's like there's an availability there because there's no other availability. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you're making sense.
But the guy, like, he's sick and twisted in his mind. Like, he doesn't see reality for what reality is. I feel like there's a lot of mental health, maybe even a personality disorder here, but definitely psychopathic tendencies. Okay. I'm even getting a reference to okay, so this is kind of big. So I'm getting a reference to arson. Now I don't know if he's ever had arson on his stuff, but arson, I just learned, really relates to or relates back to like a predator. A lot of the predators, they will also be into arson. It's a control thing. So he's very much feeling like he's got to control situations. He's in control of situations. And again, I feel like when he decided to do this, it was like he put a plan into motion. I also kind of feel like though too that there's some sort of revenge. So I don't know if like the dad made him mad, the mom made him mad, the grandma made him mad. There's some kind of that, like, I don't care if I screw you over kind of feeling. I don't know if I'm making sense on that either. I really feel like there's that damn echo. Sorry guys. I really feel like I'm trying to see because his mind is a little cloudy, and I just wonder if why is that so bad all of a sudden? Like I can hear noises in the background, but it got like worse. It wasn't that bad before. Weird. I'm trying to understand what I'm seeing because I'm trying to go. It got way worse. I don't know.
I hear it now.
All right. It sounds like there's EVPs in the background. Sorry, I don't know if it's echoes or what. We tried. I don't know what to say. So, there's something that's coming in. I keep getting a reference to a trunk. And that could be the back of any vehicle. You know, however, wherever the back of a vehicle is, wherever the trunk is, it's just a reference to the trunk or back area. I don't know why that's coming in, but I keep seeing open it and closing it. If it's a Suburban, it's it's the back of that trunk, that where the trunk part would be. I keep seeing open it and closing it. It's weird. It's almost like he took her somewhere, did something to her. This is the way that's coming across. Took her somewhere, did something to her, put her body. I don't even want to say that. Because I'm hoping she's alive. It's just not coming across that way. Not the way this guy is. He gets carried away with his actions, and it's almost like he blacks out. He doesn't know what he's doing. I wouldn't say he doesn't know what he's doing, but I mean he starts doing it, but it's like he loses control, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like that's what I keep getting with him, is like he loses control, and I feel like he lost control with Audrii. And I feel like his original plan was to assault her, and he couldn't really let her live if he assaulted her. I don't feel, besides the fact that there's something here too where it's like I don't care who I hurt in the process, because there's something that I don't know. I feel like he's angry around something, but at the same time he's an angry type person. But again, he can really bring that down and you wouldn't know it. Like he could be one of the most charming, manipulative persons that you ever met. Like, other than he looks rough, if you were to talk to him, it's almost like if you see those text messages, you'll see what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at, is like he was trying to be a nice guy. He was trying to be like, do her a favor. Like that's how it comes across for him. Like I'm trying to do everybody a favor. I'm trying to be a really nice guy, and that's how he's trying to portray himself. But he's not really. He has ulterior motives. It's always ulterior motives with him. He just is portraying himself to be what he needs to be to get what he wants. And I think he still did the same thing with Audrii. And I actually think that's why he stayed where he stayed for as long as he stayed, was because of Audrii. I think he planned this he wanted this probably for a long time. And who knows if there's anything there that we don't know about. But I feel like there's other victims out there that we don't maybe know about either. There might even be bodies that we don't even know about, not necessarily children, but people that he knew or whatever, people he was involved with. And because I do feel, again, paraphernalia around this guy in some way, shape, or form, whether he sold it, did it, whatever, probably both. But he comes across with that rage, like, whenever people do the D's, how they are sometimes with their rage and stuff, like they can't control themselves. It's kind of like that he can't control his impulses. And that's how it's coming across, like I can't control my impulses. And I couldn't control my impulses with Audrii because I get like this sense of, because me and you talk, like I do know that he did solicit someone ahead of time before this happening, and he was rejected. So it's almost like he took that rejection and was like, okay, I'll just take it from somewhere else.
Yeah, and I almost wonder too, like in those text messages, because it's like cut off. The mom says like, you're being disrespectful to Justin, who is her fiance. And then that's when he had kind of like made the comment a little bit after that, if I wanted to F you, like I would have already tried. And she's like, touche, I'll give you that, like something like that. You can't see all the messages in the post that was shared. I just almost wonder maybe if he might have said, I'm not saying solicited mom, but maybe might have said something a little inappropriate, or she felt was inappropriate and disrespectful to her fiance, and then
and I think too, though, it's almost like I think he had something maybe for her as well, and it's like,
okay. And then he was talking to that lady online, and she said that she doesn't even know like how he found her, other than she has like children, like younger children, and I want to say they're three. I think she said 3 girls, and he had messaged her and like solicited her, and she's like, I have a fiance, and he's like, oh well, he can join too. And she basically told him like, you're disgusting, like like don't contact me. And he was like, oh sorry, like like that charmer, like, oh I thought maybe you were into something like that. But the woman did say
he twists things to make him look like the innocent party or something like that, and through this I think he's going to be like, until they really get him by the BALLS, which is what I was hearing, until they get him by that, he's going to continue to play mind games. But if they get him with something that he really can't refuse, then he may be like, okay, well, you got me. But getting that out of him is going to be really hard, because he's also a narcissistic, arrogant prick. And I feel like I said, he probably doesn't differentiate or care if what sex it is, what age it is. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like that urge that he just wants to fulfill. And I feel like, again, like social media, he may even be not just what I was mentioning earlier, but he may be going and looking for, kids. Like he might be one of those guys that, like, how people try to catch those predators where they pretend to be someone like a kid online. Like,
we have one by us. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So there's people that do that, but it's almost like I feel like he would be like in one of those chat rooms or one of those places, if that makes sense. And so I'd be curious if there's not like some kind of digital footprint or some kind of stuff like on his phones or whatever that's going to be really questionable. And really, I don't feel like there's anybody else involved in this. It doesn't mean that like, I feel like he wanted her all to himself. So I was going to say, like, he could have maybe taken him to another friend of his, and they had a good time. But I feel like it's more like, I wanted her to myself. So he's not going to share her. So that's why I don't think anybody else is involved. But I do feel like there was a different plan in place originally with the mom. Like, maybe he wanted to. I keep getting these words in my head, and I know that's not me because I don't talk like that. But do them both.
Well, you're into his mind. That's why you're hearing wording like that. You know,
I
that's
don't
how
talk like that. It's
he
it you
talks
know
like that. He probably talks like that. And like
yeah.
how you were saying that they'd have to get him by the bees to like get him to crack. I think you're like spot on with that because they were saying like this guy fell through the cracks so many times. Like he should have already been put away for things, and he's probably used to like the system and how they try to get information out of you, you
Like
know?
he's not like a lot of times psychopaths aren't really stupid. Like I think sometimes they play stupid. That's why it doesn't make any sense to me. That's like you're gonna put evidence where you put her. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's almost like I feel like he did things after to throw things off. And I do feel like he cleaned up, he washed his car, he maybe got rid of his clothes. Like there's all of that. Like he did a cleanup, he did an after. Like this was a forethought. This was a forethought and he had a plan. But I just feel like the original thing was he was gonna do them both. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's the words that I'm hearing, and that's because I'm in his mind. Okay, so that's not from me. And the way that if I talk a certain way, that's not me. You guys know how I talk. I think that was the original plan because I do think maybe he had a thing for mom.
Okay.
And it's almost like I can't have mom, I'm gonna take your daughter kind of thing.
Okay.
As well. But I also feel like again he's delusional and he thinks that Audrey really loves him. You know, as most predators talk.
Yeah.
You know, he loves him above everybody else, you know, and so but I mean, I feel like originally maybe because I did get in the reading that he did take her to school before and that this isn't a new thing and maybe he was even pre-planning back then. You know, but so it wasn't like an off thing, so of course she's going to go with him, but again, I feel like she was drugged in some way shape or form. And maybe she didn't know it. Maybe she's just drinking her regular drink she drank every morning or something like that. Like that's kind of how it comes across because I keep seeing a water bottle with a drink in it, or I mean, with something in it.
Okay.
Maybe, and he could probably get his hands on it, like something like GHB or something like that. You know what I mean? Like just to like keep her quiet till he got her where he was going. But I keep feeling like I did a circle. I know we were talking about the loop, and I remember I kept drawing a circle like this, and I heard the loop. So I thought, and I know they're searching the loop, which is interesting because that came in. But it's almost like too, like I feel like I do a circle. Like I don't know if it's possible to like go from her house, go and like do a circle and end back home. It's almost like it feels like it's like I don't veer from the circle, and that might be they might be giving me like I don't know why I heard the John Wayne. No. It's kind of weird. I'll just say whatever I say. I don't know if it's like a name or something for a street, but
isn't that like a Western guy, John Wayne?
It is, but sometimes you know how they name streets after people or something like that. Like
yeah,
he's a Western, but he is a Western guy. I don't know. It's kind of random for me to hear that, so it's not nothing that I should be hearing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's almost like I feel like I did like a circle, but I also feel like I know the area really well, so I don't know if he was like he lived there for I know he lived there for like what 7 years or something like that, or is that just the time frame? I still feel like he knows the area really well, but it's like he has all his normal spots that he goes to. There is a surveillance camera that I'm getting that picked him up when he was driving, and I think that might be again why they're at the scenic loop, because I keep seeing whenever they show me surveillance, they'll show me like from the top, like if I'm a camera I'm veering into the car.
Okay.
It might be after, but for some reason, like I don't. There might be two separate ones because one I see him by himself and one I see him with Audrey in the car. So it just makes me wonder, and this could be like a street one or something like that. But there's some kind of, because I did get the surveillance card too, so that makes sense. But it's almost like I'm caught on multiple things. But I feel like he tried to like he might know where certain cameras are, and he really might have tried to miss them, but I just don't think he did. He could have
you're right on that. You're right on. At 6:15, I apparently there is camera footage, I guess, from the neighborhood of her being in the vehicle. But at 6:50, when he's by the bus stop and he does not stop, they cannot say if she's in the vehicle or not.
I think she was in the trunk. Maybe alive. Like he drugged her and put her in the trunk. Like after she drank whatever she drank. You know what I mean? It's kind of coming across like that because it's like I see. So that would make sense. So maybe she's trying to show, or he whatever is trying to show me like I've got there's footage with her in the car and there's footage without her in the car. But I really think maybe she was in the car, and that's why I keep getting the back. Like, you know, if someone were to be drugged and then like he would like pick her up, put her in the back, maybe cover her up so no one saw her in the car with him. So that's very possible. But I also feel like he took side roads and stuff like that. Like this might not be off of a main road. It might be off of a side road that there's a path to, which is kind of coming in. But I keep wanting to go in a circle. I don't know what that's about, but it's almost like, you know, here's the house and I drive, like, you know how sometimes like people will like it feels like it's a place he knows, area he knows, whatever. Like at the same time it feels kind of random, but it's like an area he knows. But I keep going like in a circle, like from the house, it's like I go this way, but then I like go back around to the house. So did he show back up at the house, or did he end up back at the house? Because it's almost like I'm here at the house, I go this place, this happens, I take her, I put her, this happens, and then I go the way back home. Because remember in Quentin's, I kept going like here's point A, right? And then here's where Quentin is, but I'm going in the middle of that, and that ended up being where he was put in the trash can at. It's almost like that. It's almost like that. Like it's almost like I'm in a circle. Like I start from home, I go here, this is the place where it happens. I take her somewhere else. This is the place where it's almost like I don't know if it happens in the same place I put her though. That's the thing I'm not clear on, because I keep seeing him like put her in the trunk. So I keep going in a circle. No, there's got to be like abandoned houses or something where he took her. Or cabins. I see it as like brown, like more like brown wooden like things, but I keep getting a reference to that, like that thing we were talking about, that bunker thing. You know how people sometimes have a place like they go to like do things like.
Yeah. Well,
I can't tell if it's the same place that he did something to her at. Like if there's two locations, I think maybe, I don't know, because it's like Quentin's thing. It's two locations, but that's because he was dumped and then the trash truck took him somewhere else. So I just don't know if I'm getting like where something happened and then where she ended up. Like if there's two locations, it kind of feels that way. It's
okay.
What's weird is I drew a circle and then I did like at this point of the circle, I did another circle inside, like I'm pointing to somewhere, and then halfway I did another, like this is another point, and then I went back home. I'm trying to show you guys what I'm talking about, and I don't I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Oh, sorry, this is a mess right here. Like this is home. Oh, over here is home. Here, this is where I take home is. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense. It could be symbolic, like I feel like I went in a circle in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't mean that I didn't take other roads. It's not like a straight shot, but I just feel like in some way I made a circle. Like I circled back.
Okay.
Because I remember I kept doing that with Quentin. I was drawing a line, and then I put a circle in the middle. It's almost like that kind of same feeling. And what's throwing me though is like in her reading, I did not see her in water. In her reading, I saw her in the woods or I saw a hand, I should say, in the woods under leaves. Now that could be any one of his victims, I guess, but I was trying to find her. The 14th is when I saw the girl that was sinking, and her arms were bound, or her wrists were bound. So I'm a little confused because that would be the day before this happened. And with Kylie, I saw her go into the water 2 days before that happened. So I'm back and forth on if she's in the water or if she's in the woods, because whenever I try to find her, I definitely feel like whatever happened to her happened like in the woods somewhere, like maybe an abandoned house, abandoned something. But I still want to go. I still find myself in the woods for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know what the circle is about. It's gonna drive me mad. It's gonna drive me insane.
I'm street viewing their house now to see if it'll go in a circle, and if you make a right out their driveway, there is like not a full loop, but it does like arch around. But on the map, it almost looked like a dead end. But if you make a left, you could kind of see like the like water line there. So I'm just seeing if you can go like around.
Cheyenne, it's okay. This would be like his whole. It almost feels like the whole trip was a circle. That's what I'm saying.
I got you. Okay.
I'm not saying just like in the area. I'm saying like his whole trip. It's almost like he made a circle. Like I feel like I loop back around. And yes, loop is still important. Like the word loop is still important. Because I know that's why they were trying to, because they gave that to me when they were giving me a circle before. But this one, I just feel like I'm going, like I go in a circle. And that could be, again, I'm just starting at home. I go one direction and I end back up home, but I'm coming another way. Like here, like you can take one way to go, and then you could go all the way around and come back to my house. You know what I mean? Like I can make a full circle if I wanted to.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
It just kind of comes across that way, and I don't know what that means really. Okay, can you look some? I don't know if you can even find this.
Yeah.
I'm getting the reference. I see this exit sign that says 257 on it. It comes across as a green sign, and I can see the letters 257 or numbers 257. I don't know if that's all of the numbers, but I see freeway signs as green, or any kind of like exit sign or something like that. Could just be like exit. Do you know how sometimes when you're driving, like, okay, when I use my maps, it'll say get off at exit 253, get off at exit 257, get off at exit 255, like above the road sign. So this might be more for someone that's local, but it's like an exit 257. I don't even know if it exists. I just know that I feel like I'm seeing it through his eyes, and it's like a green sign that says 257. Now that could just be to show me the letter 250 or the numbers 257. That could just be a way to show it to me as well, or for me to see it. Like he saw it somewhere. That makes sense. But I see it on something green.
Okay, I searched on maps for an exit 257 and nothing came up in the area, but that doesn't mean.
It's okay. I just want to put it out there because I keep seeing it. And that's something else I always forget to remind people is if things repeat, it's very important. If I say it's repeating, I have to say it, otherwise it won't go away. And usually it means something. And when we were talking about getting directions before, I was getting chills. Like we were talking about that personally, about how I was getting directions the last reading that I did. And I was getting chills, like major chills, head to toe chills.
That's what I said. It sounded like she was giving you directions, like in Quentin's case, like he took you from the house to the dumpster, from the dumpster he passed all these landmarks that were right on the way to the landfill. That's what it kind of almost reminded me of.
That's how my readings tend to work, and I'm noticing that from private readings as well. And also too, when I was on the map with him, no matter what direction I did, I ended up back at the landfill. But it was like, regardless, I'd circle back, or no matter which way I went. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm not great on the map, but so there's something about like about that. There's also something about 8 miles or 8 minutes. Okay, I'm trying to get into this. I'm trying to get more from this guy. He really is like what I'm pulling from him is like toxic, like he's kind of like a cancer. That's the way that it's coming in. Like regardless of whoever he knew, he was like a cancer, but it was like, you know how when cancer starts, you don't know you have it, and then before you know it's spread, and then everything's ruined. And then that's kind of the way that I'm like the reference I'm getting. It's kind of an odd way to say it, but it was almost like he would end up being a cancer to people that he knew.
Okay.
By ruining lives in some way, you know. And I don't feel like, again, he had any remorse. He knows how to play the system. I feel like he's got people in jail that he knows that he connects to. And I feel like he might have kind of a high ranking somewhere or be known like that. Like he shouldn't have even been out for all the stuff I'm getting. Like it was like, this was like, you know how sometimes we get those warnings about people and they should really be put in jail because if they don't, they're going to reoffend. It's like that. Like no matter what, he's going to reoffend with something. And it feels like it's always something different. Like he always tries to push the limits and reoffend and, do that. Why am I seeing tents?
Hi.
I'm seeing tents. So it's either homeless or camping area. I see it kind of like as homeless because they feel like they're like I don't always see things exactly as they are, but it feels like I'm getting like a brown tent, like one of those little ones. So it could just be symbolic for a tent. So either a camping area or a homeless place, something close by. He's laughing. He's laughing. I just heard him laughing about this situation. Like he doesn't think they're gonna find her, and he's laughing because like he feels smarter than everybody else. He feels smart. He feels smarter than everybody else. Like he doesn't really. It's weird because he would come across as like he cared for her, like, and maybe that's what she thought about him. Maybe she really thought that he really cared about her because we're naive when we're that young, and he's dad's friend, and so she doesn't think anything of it. But it's almost like that was the whole plan, get you to trust me, almost like
I got that from like those messages where he said to the mom, I'm her favorite person, she'll never tell. Like that right there, like I could have cried. Like I just got like that pit in my stomach. Like,
well, they show me like a spider web, so this could be a tattoo he has, but it could also be symbolic for like a spider in my, like a fly in my spider web, like caught in my web kind of thing. But like he may also have one on his elbow or something, because I'm kind of getting both references. I'm just wondering the way it came across before, like he put her where he did whatever he did. And I keep going like across from. Is there a place that, I mean, does. Okay, so on the road, is there like one side that's like kind of like beachy, like if you say like a water's edge, and like if you go across like the road, is there woods on the other side? Because it's almost like I keep getting the reference to like a beach area, but then if like, and then there's a road, and then there's the woods. And like we were talking about Athena, like that's coming to mind again, and she was found like off the road but by Trinity River, right? In her location?
Correct. And a video that I had saw where they were searching yesterday, it does look like sandy, like beachy, and then there's woods all around.
I keep going into the woods. It's almost like I feel like whatever he did in the woods, but I keep getting a reference to, again, like abandoned house, like a path.
Now, there is an area that locals were talking about that is somewhere there that has abandoned houses. The area, which I was going to tell you when you said you don't know if he got the D's to give her something, might disappeared, sorry. From what people are saying is it's a very small town, but there are bad areas, and there are like heavily involved in D use. And there's an area down by where I guess they were searching called the Bottom, and there's abandoned houses down there, and I guess it's pretty creepy and isolated, and not too many people will even like venture down there, because I guess like homeless people maybe live down there, or current addicts. So I'm taking it from comments, it's not the best place. It's like the Bottoms.
But are there? I wonder if it's like secluded places, like secluded.
There's old abandoned houses down there. I don't know if like they had flooding down there at one time, and like how if there's flooding, like people abandon the houses. Like here, we have a river here, and people had houses all along the river. A few years ago, we had real bad flooding, and a lot of people just abandoned the houses because they couldn't get any help, and they didn't have insurance because they were like, it would have been astronomical. It was so close to the river. So they just kind of cut their losses and abandoned the house. So I don't know if it's something like that, where maybe either there wasn't upkeep, or where like these houses flooded and they had abandoned them. But they did say that this area does have abandoned houses down there.
So it's almost like for some reason I keep wanting to go to like an abandoned house, and I just wonder if he didn't like take her there or something. But it's like the way that it comes across is there might be something with it, because I remember in the reading I was also getting an abandoned house, but I was also getting like a bunker type like thing that I keep seeing. Like it's definitely made of wood, and it has like a triangle thing. It has to look kind of like I'm seeing it, and it's low to the ground. So I don't know why that's coming in. It could even be like not a full house or something. I don't know. It's really weird. But I feel like it's not far off the road. But almost like maybe a house like he knew about, and like she's close to it, because I keep seeing the same vision I was seeing about like it's almost like a slope or an embankment, but it goes down, right? And then there's like, how sometimes it goes down and then there'll be like a little tiny like drop off, and it's like I see like a downed log, and then that's where I see her at. It's like by that log, but it's like close to that there's like some kind of cabin or house or something. And then if you go further than that, it's like there's a reference to either a creek or a river or something, like on the other side.
Okay.
It's really weird. And then but that would make sense. You're talking about that there's homeless people there, and then I go back to those tents I was seeing. Because I didn't know about the homeless thing.
Yeah,
But
they said it's known for, the people suffering from addiction or like homeless to, I guess, venture down there and stay. It's like pretty abandoned from what comments said. I mean, I'm not familiar with the area. Maybe one of the locals, maybe there's a local who's watching that would know what I'm speaking about and could elaborate on it a little bit more at the bottom.
I keep getting 59, and I do know that there is like something with 59 in it, but it's repeating, so I gotta say it. And then I'm also getting a 39. So I don't know what either of those numbers are. If they're both of them exist, I'm not really sure. It's weird. It's like every time I try to go to the water, I'm taken away from there. Which again, I feel like the bag was a plant. Like maybe he wants them to spend all their time searching in the water. I feel like he likes the wild goose chases. And I feel like even though he's telling them, or because they're taking him to places, right? And I feel like even though he's telling them, oh, I was here, oh, I was there, I think some of it's true and some of it's not. Or he's trying to put it like, well, I was here, but that doesn't mean I did anything.
Okay.
And it might be that he went to a lot of different places to like, make it seem like he wasn't involved, like he was somewhere else. You know what I mean? So he's still cooperating, but he's not cooperating, but he's playing mind games. Like that's the way it's coming across. Like he's not, this is all a game to him. I just heard take with a grain of salt. So some of the stuff they need to take with a grain of salt. But it's like some of the places they're taking him are right, and he knows that maybe there's surveillance there, so he's admitting to it, but other places he might be just taking them to take them there. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like I feel like I'm sending them on a wild goose chase.
Okay. It makes sense.
But I also keep getting like pathways, but it's like at the same time this place isn't like, I keep getting a reference to a road still, but it's like I go across from where there's some sort of water or beachy area or something like that. I mean, I know that they're checking out the loop, right? And they're doing that for a reason. Like something took them there, and it could be surveillance or whatever. And I did get it. I did get the loop. And again, I can get it for different reasons, but it's almost like I need to go back. I just heard back to the dam. Back to the dam. But again, like maybe across, like maybe that is the right area because the homeless, the tents and stuff. Maybe he thinks they're too afraid to look there or something like that. Like maybe he's got friends down there. I don't. It might not be exactly that, but I keep getting. What the hell is it?
What is that?
I have no idea.
I just got real bad chills.
It was like a beeping or an alarm almost, right?
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was somebody whispering. I don't know if it was a beat. I don't know what it was, but that was really freaky.
It was a loud noise 3 times. I'm just gonna say this because it keeps like repeating, and I have absolutely no idea what it means.
There
so I'm
it
just gonna
is.
say it, but yeah,
It just did it again.
Wyatt
Did
Earp.
you hear it?
Yeah, who's Wyatt Earp? I just wonder if there's any place with like these names on them.
Any place with what?
Any place with these names on them, because I hear Wyatt Earp. Before it was John Wayne, now it's Wyatt Earp. I don't know much about Wyatt Earp. I keep hearing, I heard it before and I'm hearing it again. It's kind of, I don't understand it. It's almost like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if that's like is that like a theme in that area or something? So where'd you go?
Oh, I'm here. I was writing. Sorry. Ever since you turned down our microphones, I have a problem hearing out of this ear. So now I'm like, huh? What'd you say?
Well, I was trying to turn it down because somebody said they were too loud. Maybe that was causing the echo. But I mean, we tried.
No, I
everything.
know it's okay.
And hopefully people can hear us okay. But I just wonder if they're trying to give me a theme, like not necessarily like, you know, like sometimes there's themes with names, road names or something. Like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, John Wayne. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's just hang on to it because that's weird. I still feel like it's weird because when I was getting in the adjacent woods, it was from wherever they were searching at that time. I don't know. I wonder if I can get anything else from him. I'm thinking about pulling in my consultant.
Yes.
I'm just trying to see if I can get anything else from this guy. Because it's like I'm getting bits and pieces. It's almost like some stuff is blocked off for some reason. I do feel like he cleaned his car. I see him wiping out his trunk. So at some point, I feel like she was back there.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Been a
There's a Davy Crockett National Forest, but it's pretty far away.
I don't know.
But it's just weird you got that, and
I mean, I could be getting things around the area, whatever.
Maybe it is
how
a
long
theme.
did he have?
They said 6:15. He was seen. I guess she was said to be in the vehicle or getting in the vehicle. 10:07, 6:50. He was by the bus stop. And they couldn't tell whether she was in the vehicle, but like she wasn't reported until like 7 o'clock at night.
She had all day.
Yeah, I don't know what time he got back to the house or what time they saw him get back to the house.
Unfortunately, I feel like there was an assault that took place over and over until he got carried away. And that's why it makes me wonder if there wasn't like an abandoned house or somewhere that he took her to. But it's also like I feel like she's not far from wherever she was. So I don't know if like he put her like the trunk area is when she was like, you know, knocked out from being drugged, or if he still needed a vehicle to move her. I don't know. This isn't clear. Like it feels so foggy in his head. Like maybe he was only aware of like part of the stuff he did. I don't, or maybe I'm being blocked off from it. That's why I'm thinking I'm gonna be done with this fool and calling my consultant because I'm over him. I'm over being in his brain. I don't think I'm getting much else. Other than I feel like there's more victims we don't know about in some way, shape, or form. You know, I keep going back to that friend that's missing, and I just keep wondering if he was a part of that because I feel like that's his like MO. Like he'll do away with you if he wants to. He doesn't care who you are, and it's like no one will ever know about it kind of thing. It's almost like that gang type mentality I get from him, or psychopath mentality or whatever. Like he's gotten away with so much for so long, he thinks he can continue getting away with it, and he's just going to continue playing mind games. So whatever he says most of the time, I'd probably do the opposite. most of the time. You know, I think he's like mixing the truth with lies, if that makes sense. Because he's probably thinking, hey, no body, no crime. And he's going to continue to do that until they really got him with something really good. So, in my opinion, it would be smart to make up, like, try to put pieces together and make up some sort of lie that they have something that he doesn't, they might not even really have it, right? But they could say they have it. And it might,
to get like a
it might make him
confession.
feel like, oh no, I'm in trouble and I better get offered a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might want a deal for this, but I feel like it'll come, like, he might take a deal and he might confess with a deal, but also only if they say that they have something that maybe he doesn't know that they have. Like, he thinks he's smarter than them. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else. That's the way that he's coming across. And so until he's confronted with something that he doesn't think that they have, that's really, really like a nail in the coffin, he's not going to come forward with anything. So I feel like if they were even to lie and just like try to trick him in a way, you know, I also feel like they should bring in behavioral analysis, which I know that they probably already are, to watch him and see when he's lying and how he's doing during the interviews. Like, I feel like that would be very important. That's kind of coming in as well, because I feel like he has little tells when he lies, and they might be able to tell the difference, you know, if he's lying or if he's not.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not. I heard he's like, there were times like he was misbehaving in jail. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but somebody said like that.
He might also at some time like try to act crazy. Like he's mentally not right anyways. But a lot of this is manipulation. And yeah, a lot of it's manipulation, and a lot of it's like him thinking that he's smarter than everybody else and whatnot. Just the way that a psychopath is. In a way, he kind of reminds me, you know how like I keep going back to Ted, and maybe that might be why I wanna do the consult, but it kind of feels like almost like how Ted like denied until like for a long time, until like he couldn't like they got him with something good, he really couldn't deny it anymore. It's almost like that kind of feeling. Like I feel like he's a compulsive liar, and I think he's mixing truth with lies. Like that's how it comes across. Until he gets confronted with something that's major that he doesn't know that they have, whether they have it or not. But I think that he has little tells when he's lying.
Okay.
That maybe they need to bring a professional in to see. So I know FBI has that, and hopefully they're doing that. So I feel like if they don't find her, because I felt the urgency, because I felt like they were gonna find her, and 4 could be April, 4 could be 4 weeks. I don't know. It felt more urgent, but that could just be spirit trying to get me to do this, to make me feel urgent. I still think they're gonna find her, but it's just I keep seeing him like out at a location, and it could be that it's after he's offered a deal. It's after, you know, what we just talked about. It's almost like there's 2 different ways this could go. I don't know why because they do show me dogs, and I do hear the dogs. I heard that in a reading, so it makes me wonder if they were close at one time, if that's going to have anything to do with it. But I also do see him out at places, and I know they've been bringing him out at places, but this is something new. So I don't know if they take him to like a new place and he does tell them, because I see him in shackles, but I don't know if it's like the area, like after they offer a deal. I don't know why they're showing me that. It's kind of weird, because I did pull the confession card, but I think it's only if they get him with a certain amount of, like a certain type of information, you know?
Yep.
And they can prove like he's lying and he knows that he's like dead to rights. Like that kind of feeling comes across. As long as he feels like he can get out of it and weasel his way out of it, he's going to continue to do that, and he's going to continue to bring them on wild goose chases and stuff like that. Like I feel like not every place he's taken him to, unless there's surveillance to back it up, is right. It's almost like he's taking him extra places to throw things off. He's trying to throw off the investigation, and he's tried to do that this whole time. Like I think that's what the backpack's about. He's trying to throw off the investigation. I think he wants them spending a lot of time in the water. Like I said, I was confused because the 14th I kept seeing someone sinking in water with their hands bound, and I don't know who that is, because it's visions are blurry. And I did get Kylie before she ever went missing, so it kind of made me think, well, is this because I got it on the 14th? Is this why I got that? But then when I go into his mind, when I go into the reading, I'm not getting the water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like I keep being taken into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And it could just be where it happened at too, but I mean, I keep going the opposite direction of the water. And the word adjacent is very specific, to say adjacent woods.
Yep.
I took that as wherever they're searching, like adjacent to where they're searching, but I literally heard go back to the dam. So not that she's at the dam, but the area. Like maybe, wooded area. And like I said, I feel like I don't know if there's leaves in those woods, because it feels like, like what's on the wood floor. I keep seeing the same thing over and over with like leaves on top of me and like my hand, or a hand like barely sticking out. And so I kind of keep getting that, like, so I don't know if there's like leaves in the woods out there, but it's like I feel like I'm covered with like leaves and soil and like stuff that's like sticks, like stuff that's on the ground, and it might even be like a shallow part, but I don't really think he dug. It's almost like I heard marked, so I don't know if it's some way in shape or form marked, but it's almost like it's like right after I come down a hill, and then it's like a little tiny bit drop, like a tiny drop off, like you have to step off. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because it's like there's a hill, right, and then it's like there's this little step off thing, like you step off, and then there's like a down log right there. That's what I keep seeing. And it could even be like an embankment from the road, like,
yeah,
down.
like how it slopes, like.
Yeah, because the road seems significant, because I know that I got the road card, and I felt like I go back to Trinity, like she wasn't far from not Trinity, Athena, she wasn't far from the road, but also it's like it could be like, where it drops off the road, like if sometimes the road is higher and this is lower.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep hearing like a lot of birds as well, and a lot of like birds and frogs, things like that, like you would find like in a really dense wooded area with some water. So there is some water, but it feels like it's on the opposite side. It's almost like road, here she is, you keep going, because before I didn't see water, but it was like I didn't see a lot of water, but it was because I was in that exact area. Now I'm panning out, and it's like a creek or a river or something. It's not huge, it's not a lot of water, sometimes like where the river will flow through, like sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher, or I don't even want to say river, I'm just going to say water, because sometimes I can't tell the difference between water and creek, but it feels like it flows. But I also feel like there's like a little bit of a marshy type area there, like where frogs and stuff would be, like there's like little,
yeah, it's like swampy,
like a marshy, like maybe if it would have overflowed and like the water came out and it made it like all, like I get grass too, like a little bit of like tall grass and stuff, like how like a marshy like looking area would be. I'm getting that now. And I keep hearing like, again, like frogs. And what's weird is I keep getting reference to, see, she's got to be in the woods. I don't know who the other person was, unless it was a thought of his, I don't know. But I'm getting a reference to, what show was that I was watching? Ghost Whisperer. Watching Ghost Whisperer, and she was getting the reference to frogs, and she was hearing them and she was seeing them. And the sister was like, oh, she went by frog, but she's like, no, it's got to be something else. So she went to this, I think it was like a national park or something, and she went looking for the sister, and she started hearing all these frogs and stuff. And the girl she had tried to run and was drugged or something, and she was deceased in the middle of the woods. But there was all these frogs that you could hear. You know what I mean? So like there's all these frogs, so there must have been water or creek or something nearby. So that I'm getting that kind of reference.
Yep.
Only she's like covered in stuff, but I can see this area really well. It's just really hard to find it. Like that's the problem with my location, is that I will see an area like I'm there, like I will remote view it. I will kind of tell you how to get there, but unless you're from the area or unless you can walk that way, see everything on your way, you know,
Yep.
then it's hard for me, because what they show on the map is not what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing it like I'm there. So I can't really tell you much on a map because I'm seeing it like I'm standing in the woods. And then they'll give me landmarks, you know.
Yeah.
But I take that ribbon as like an already searched area. So again, the scenic loop, it's important for some reason. It's important, whether it be evidence, whether it be surveillance, whatever it is. I got it too. So the fact that they're searching there and I got it, it's important. But when it comes to, I really feel like they need to go back to where they were, but either expand the search, go across the street. It's almost like I want to go across from where they were or something. But like maybe go deeper into the woods or something like that. Like, because those what are they called? Those tents, like it does kind of remind me of like where people would either camp, or like there could be like an homeless encampment things. Like I keep getting that too.
Okay.
But it's like maybe deeper or something like that. But I feel like there's got to be a path or a road that he could have drove on. Because I did pull that pathway card, so you know, there's got to be some sort of path. And this could be an embankment off the path or whatever, but I do feel like there's some sort of structures there around her.
Okay.
That I kind of can't let go of, you know what I mean? And there might even be, like, I thought it was weird because I was drawing a flower before we started. There might be something with flowers that pop up like in the springtime, yellow flowers or something like that, some kind of flowers, like an area where they might pop up. There is a reference to spring. I hope she's found before that, but I don't know why that's kind of coming in. It's kind of coming in like I do feel like she's going to be found in one way, shape, or form. It does come across that way. And maybe there's a reason they're focusing on the water. I just don't think, especially after the reference I just got, that she's in the water. And the way that I'm seeing her with like the leaves, like it's so vivid, and I could smell it. You know how like damp leaves and soil and stuff smells? Like I can smell that as well.
Yeah. Like that
And
dampness.
but she's also taking, she's also taking me to her fingernails though. So there's something with her fingernails. So either she scratched him, but I feel like there's soil there too, for some reason. I don't know why. Because when I see her fingernails, they're not clean. So I don't really know what that is. But it's almost like if they were walking, they would see like just a little bit of her hand sticking out. That's the way that it comes across. Like maybe he missed it or something, or he thought he covered it. Because for some reason, things aren't truly like really clear with this guy. And I think it's because maybe he's blocked some of it out. He's not mentally sane. Maybe he was high. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I mean, so if we go back to my original reading and this, it's matching up. But the thing is the marshy area and the frogs and stuff, that's all new. But it's almost like they're telling me go back to the dam, back to the search area, but like I jinx at woods, kitty across a road, like across a main road to wooded area. That's the way that it comes in. And I don't know if there's paths or a road or something that he could take to go deeper into the woods. But this feels like it's an area that he may know. So the abandoned, like I said, there's structures. There's some kind of structure out there by where she is. I keep getting like structures, but I see it as like cabins. That could just be how I'm seeing it. But it definitely comes across as like wooded, like structures, like abandoned wooded structures. That's how it's coming across to me, or how I'm referencing it. And they're adamant, like we need to go backwards. And I'm just wondering if like he could have taken a circle from where the house was up around to the dam and then back around home. Like if there's a way you can circle back. But I don't know, man. All right, so we're gonna try. I don't know what else I can possibly get, but we're gonna try consultant and see how that works. And we're gonna try that as a separate video because this one's already an hour and 20 minutes long. I didn't want to bore everybody, so we're gonna do a separate video, and then if it doesn't work out, you guys won't see it. If you will, you see it. So, all right, until next time, you guys.
See you in the next one.
Make sure you check out the first one. Make sure you check out the last one. It's important that we put everything together.